Right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our webinar session, another alumni webinar for students or past students who have passed through the Aspire tuition program for the professional exams for various programs. And I'm sure most of us are chartered accountants who have now become professionals pursuing our various careers in different fields. Now, our usual webinar is normally done every quarter, mainly to focus on some topical issues that will help improve our own professional development in our varied careers. Now, I think almost about 2 weeks ago, we had a session for the title, The Professional Tax Practitioner, where we actually invited the guest, actually, Mr. Dr. Ali Nachia, to help us understand what it takes to be a professional tax practitioner. Today's another session, and this session is clearly, per what we see, is dedicated to understanding the process in becoming a Cima Chartered Global Management Accountant. Normally, the word around is that, like, how do I become a Cima member? Most colleagues, having qualified, will normally ask that question. And I've been getting a lot of questions in this area in how to become a Cima member so that I can get a global certificate in being a chartered management accountant. So in response to that question and in response to that demand, we decided to organize a special webinar in this particular area. And I'm so happy to have all of us on the call and specifically to touch base on this particular topic. And in order to have us run this session, I'm going to have my able guest speaker in the person of Mr. Osman Musa. He's actually the business manager for Cima Ghana. And I will not want to stretch it long, but he's also the manager for not just Ghana, but other West African countries. And I'm sure once he has the opportunity to speak, he will bring clarity to bear on that. Now, in addition to this, we'll be having a question and answer session after his presentation. So if you have various questions, I would pray you keep them so that when we have the open session for questions and answers, we'll surely invite you to bring your question. And we are, as a tuition provider, we are ready to provide the needed support to help us understand all the issues regarding how to become a chartered global management accountant, specifically a Cima qualified chartered global management accountant. So I wouldn't want to take too much of the time since it's a weekend and most of us may want to do other things aside just joining this webinar. So I will quickly invite on Mr. Osman to take up the floor if Osman is ready. Osman, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we have to allow you to share your screen.
Yes.
If that works. Ike, can you allow him to do that?
And I think I can share. Okay, I can share video now.
You can share, okay.
So I think you will have to stop sharing before I can share.
Okay. So maybe I have to stop sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go ahead now.
Good. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, your screen is live and clear.
Okay, great. So good evening to us all, and then thank you very much, Ms. Ellie, for this opportunity to be able to engage your team and those who are interested in studying the Cima and how we can actually assist them and work together to get their dreams achieved. So as he rightly said, my name is Osman Musa, and I am responsible for business development in Ghana, Benin, Cameroon, and Sierra Leone for Cima. Today we're going to look at some few things Cima at a glance for some of us who have not really had the opportunity to understand what we do. What is a management accounting? A lot of people ask us this question. So we'll just do a bit of touch into that. Our Cima competency framework, the qualification structure, the exemptions for ICA, the case study exam, and how it is structured, and then the Cima fees. Of course, that is a big elephant in the room. Once the pounds start coming off, a lot of people begin to change their faces and all that. But we'll talk about it and how you get started. So I'm honored to be with you today. At Cima, our vision is to empower trust, opportunity, and prosperity for all within the membership and the society that we operate in. Of course, we are a big organization, and you can see where we operate in over 196 countries and territories across the world, with over 750,000 members and students who are engaged in one or two areas within the industry. Now, what is Cima? So someone would ask us. Cima stands for the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and we have been around since 1919, and it takes an agile organization to be able to transcend and live up to this number of years and still be very relevant today in this space. In 2017, what we tried to do, because we realized that in America, if you are not getting any qualification that is recognized by them, they do not accept it. So we're saying we are very global, and all the qualifications, Cima, were accepted everywhere around the world. But when they get to the American market, it is very difficult for them to have access to employment, because they also have a chartered management accountancy, even though Cima is bigger than the one they have in US. So we wanted to create a strategy that would help and actually make our qualification truly global. So the AICPA, which is the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, is the largest public accounting body in the world. And Cima being the largest management accounting body in the world, we decided to actually bring our synergies together to form what we call the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, which is the unified voice of AICPA and Cima in the global accounting and finance profession space. And that has actually truly made us truly global and the most influential accounting body in the world, because we have the highest representation on the IFAC board, and we drive a lot of the changes that are impacting, especially within the integrated reporting space and the sustainable accounting, what do you call it? Things that we are doing all around the world. So this has given us that opportunity to be able to enlarge our coast. So what is management accounting? So management accounting, we say we combine finance, accounting, and management, and it also include operation and strategy. That is one of the key things that our members can boast of. So if you are a Cima member, you can boast of actually having experience and skills within finance, accounting, management, strategy, and operation. And that is what makes them stand out. And if you look at the bigger picture over here in the circle, I always say management accounting is financial accounting and more. So you are not just limited to doing things that are within the technical accounting core, but you go outside and within to be able to leverage and expand your reach. And normally what I want to use to demonstrate what a finance or management accountant is that driver who actually sits in the front seat and actually uses both the rear mirror and the side mirror, because you are looking at the rear mirror that is giving you what is happening in the past. You are looking at historical events and looking at the current event to be able to analyze, to tell and predict what happens into the future. So that is a perfect picture of a management accountant. And they provide very valuable strategies within the organization. They provide strong leadership and management skills, and they successfully manage risk. And these are the needs that businesses are looking for within the space that we find ourselves now. The whole Cima program and qualification is actually pinned on this Cgma competency framework. So whoever qualifies as a Cima member would have actually had some bit of all these competencies that we are looking at. The number one key competency is the technical skill. And you will bear with me that you cannot be an accountant if you don't have the ability to be able to at least crunch the numbers to some extent. So you need to understand financial reporting. You need to understand the business planning, the accounting information systems. These are the technical things that every accountant must understand. And that is the basis on which you are called a chartered accountant, or of course, an accountant of an institution. Now, we had a problem where we realized that there are people who actually have the technical skills, but when it comes into how do they transition this technicality into a business skill or a business space, they are found wanting. So you have chartered accountants sitting on boards who can actually rattle the numbers. When it comes to the numbers, they are very, very good at the numbers, but they cannot tell you the story behind the numbers. And mind you, when you are sitting in a boardroom, you have the CEO, you have the operations, you have marketing, you have HR. You are the only accountant in there, and they are basing on your information to take decisions for the organization. So you need to be able to simplify your accounting data in a way that gives them a perfect story to be able to deduce and analyze and come up with some decision that actually propels the whole organization. So you need to understand, if you are dealing with an NGO, how do you apply your technical accounting in there? If you are dealing with a private organization, how do you do it? If you are within the public sector, government sector, how do you do it? So you need to understand the business ecosystem to be able to apply the technical knowledge that you have. So of course, you would need project management, you will need strategy, business relations to be able to excel in that space. Now in the organization, after you've gotten all this, you have to have what we call the people skill. You are not an island in the organization, and you are working with a lot of people within the organization. Your ability or your strength to be able to understand emotional intelligence, if you have emotional intelligence, is what helps you to be able to engage and work with people successfully within the organization. So our competency tries to train you how to understand and influence people so that in the morning, one day when you come to the office and see Kojo, who is always happy all the time, and today you come in and Kojo is not laughing, is not smiling, is not doing anything, and you as a head of finance, you are just so bent on your KPIs and you don't care about how that individual feels, and you just want to get your result. You will not get that result if you fail to understand how to deal with such emotions. So we teach you how to be able to understand and be able to guide your decision, having this kind of influences and understanding to help your own colleagues to be able to excel in whatever that you do. So of course, you need to have some level of ability to influence people, ability to negotiate with people and communicate properly to organizations. And then, of course, from there, you are looking at the people skills. If you are leading and no one is following you, you are actually taking a stroll. You are not leading. Your ability to be able to align your people to follow a particular vision and a direction for the organization as a head of finance or CFO is what is going to propel the organization to a bigger or larger extent to its growth for the whole organization. So you need to understand how to coach and mentor the young ones, how to build a team, and how to actually motivate and inspire, especially when people are down. And at the heart of our competency is what we call the digital skill. This is very crucial, especially in this space that we found ourselves. We are now living in a highly VUCA business environment. And by VUCA, I mean volatile, uncertain, extremely complex and ambiguous business environment that things are changing with the blink of an eye. So you need to have a tap on the tools that are going to help you do your work. We do not want our members to see technology as a threat, but as an augmentation or something that will help them augment the work that they do so that you can actually focus on more strategic thinking for the organization and allow the machines to do the mundane and repetitive work of the organization, so you can make decisions very quickly and at a very high speed. And of course, all this is underpinned by ethics, integrity, and professionalism. Now, our structure. This is the whole Cima professional qualification structure. Before you qualify as a Cima member, you need to have written and passed all 16 papers to qualify. So we have 4 levels. If you can see my arrow, we have the certificate level, which is for people who has no background in accounting at all. All you need to be is to be 16 years and above. You do not require any qualification to start the certificate level. And once you are done, you are awarded what we call the Certificate in Business Accounting. And a lot of the universities with this part of qualification, you can use it to enter level 200 in any of the business courses you find yourself. Then from there, we go into the whole professional qualification level, which start from the operational level. At the operational level, a lot of the things that you do are more concentrated on budgeting and budget processes and budget implementation, which are more for the lower level people within the organization. After which, we will award you a diploma in management accounting. Then we have the management level. At that level, you also have 3 objective papers and 1 case study there. And then you are looking at more like medium to short-term to medium-term strategies for the organization or decisions for the organization. And your role there will be a finance manager. So the things that you do border on pricing, price strategy, project management, reporting, group reporting, all those things are at that level. Then when you move to the final level, you are looking at the bigger picture for the whole organization, and the decisions that are taken over there impact the whole system of the organization. So there you have issues that are bordering on cybersecurity, data analytics, big data, and blockchain, and all those things at that level. And then once you are done with that level, you will then apply for membership to become the ACMA or Cgma qualification. So at the end of the day, you are awarded ACMA, which is the Associate Chartered Management Accountant, awarded by Cima UK as a body. And then the Cgma comes in because of the merger with AICPA. So together, the 2 body awards you what we call the Cgma, which is a Chartered Global Management Accountant, which can be used wherever you find yourself in the world. And currently, we are working towards a legislation in the US that says that, or that would mean that you cannot be a finance business partner in the US if you are not a Cgma. So what they want to do is that the AICPA members or the CPAs will concentrate on audit and assurance. And then the Cima members are those they are looking to be able to create value and preserve value for the organization, because they are seen as growth agents. So they will be more involved in running finance and growing the organizations and all that, whilst the CPAs will be looking at audit and assurance issues that have to do with the technical bit of the accounting space. So exemptions. If you have the ICAG qualification, the good news is that you are getting 15 exemptions out of the 16 papers. So you will actually be writing the last strategic case study exam. And that is the only exam you will need to write to qualify as a Chartered Global Management Accountant. It is the same as someone who has a CPA in America. They will also have to come and write the strategic case study exam before they are awarded the Cgma qualification. These are some of the things or areas that you will touch on at each of the level. And because you are actually going into the final level, because I assume all of you are CA qualified, at the strategic level, there are 4 papers at that level, but you have been exempted from all of them and you are doing only 1 case study. But the one case study is not a course on its own. It is actually dependent on these three courses at the strategic level, which is the strategic management, which entails competitive advantage, strategy formulation, strategy execution, and digital strategy. It also entails risk management, which goes into enterprise risk management, strategic risk, and governance. And governance is a very key topic issues now, because it's, in fact, it's a very delicate issue that we need to be able to get people to understand how to, ensure that governance issues within the organization is really taken serious. And then you have internal control, and then you have cyber security. So if you are a finance person and you are telling me that you do not need to understand what cybersecurity is, because that is actually to the IT people. In fact, then you are lagging behind, because you need to be able to understand these things. The number of companies that have been hit by cyber threats and attacks around the world, and the value of amounts involved are huge. So you, as a finance or head of finance or finance person or accountant, you need to understand some of the threats that you would have within this space and how to be able to control it within that area. Then also it covers financial strategy, which looks at the financial policies and objectives, capital structure, business valuation, and financial risk. So these three courses come together to prepare you for the strategic case study exam. And this is where Aspire will come in, because the tuition provider would have to take you through this knowledge to enable you to be able to apply the knowledge in the case study exam. This is how our case study, or this is what the case study exam entails. The case study is conducted globally 4 times a year. It is conducted in February, May, August, and November. And you can take the exam in 3 hours. That is the length of the exam. So it's a 3-hour paper. You have 3 sections, 1 hour each for a section. And it is designed in such a way that it is very, very practical. We do not have defined this or define that, what is this, list this. You have an issue and your role is the senior finance manager of the company. And you have to find solutions to the issues that has just come up. And you will need to be advising the board and the senior management as to the decisions that they need to take. So you understand that all of them are open-ended questions and they are graded by evaluators. We will give you the case study at least 6 weeks to the exam, just to allow the tutors and yourself to be able to analyze the case study, immerse yourself into the case study, assume that is your office, assume that is your role, that is your company. On the exam day, we will have the case study still in the exam room. And when a question is asked, if there's an issue happening, they raise it and ask for your recommendation, and you don't get it, there is a reference button you can click. It takes you to the reference side and let you understand what happened, and then you come back and provide a solution as to the problem that you are seeing as a senior finance manager. So you realize that I may be asked a simple question like, you are climbing up the staircase and you have met your director of finance, and he tells you, I'll be going into a board meeting in about 3 hours. And I need you to give me your suggestion or your input in an hour as to whether we should consider outsourcing our IT department or have it in-house. And he's gone. He's expecting you to be able to provide him with this detail within the shortest possible time. And that is what is done in the office. They don't ask you to define things. They don't ask you to list things. They have problems that they're asking, because he's also going into a boardroom and he needs some clarity around or recommendation to be able to tell the board what to do. I per se may be looking at the issue. Maybe I may say we should outsource the IT department so that we can free ourselves, so that we can more concentrate on our core activity and be more productive. But I may be also looking at the risk in giving our data to a third party. So I need to analyze these 2 options, and based on our ability to absorb some risk, I will then recommend to my director of finance what I think we should do. So based on your recommendation, the director will also go in and have that discussion, and then they can have a solution out of it. So this is some simple scenario of a question that can be asked and how practical those questions are. In the case study exam, we do not show workings. We don't do multiplications and calculations in there. You don't show working. You'll be given a case, you'll be given the financials of the company, you'll be given a financials of another company. If you see a financials of another company, it's giving you a hint of a merger and acquisition. It means there could be a question about merger and acquisition. But because you have gone through that case study, you have analyzed it, you have done your calculations and seen whichever ones are positive and all that, your ratios and all those things, you have the numbers and you understand what they mean. So in the example, if you have something that tells you it's a negative, based on the number that you have done and you have got, you would then advise whether the management should either buy out the company, they should merge with the company, or wash their hands off that company totally. So in the case study, you are giving recommendation, you are giving directives, and then you are guiding the board and senior managers to take decisions that will benefit the organization as a whole. So now, why do I become a Cima member? Why do I need to obtain the Cgma qualification? Someone would ask. Of course, the first one is the fact that Cima members are actually, they have the ability to move around different careers. So you are not just fixated or just stick to accounting roles. You can go into different roles within the whole ecosystem, because we are blending different things to prepare you for the workspace. And I call Cima members 360 finance professionals, because you have a bit of everything. And when you are in the boardroom, the marketing director raises an issue. The typical accountant would think marketing, they are just going to waste money on advertisement and nothing will come in. But if you are a Cima member, you understand that you may not get the return on that investment within the year, but you can reap that return in about 2-3 years, because that is how marketing is. So you will not be fighting with the marketing director all the time, because you understand how that works. And when it comes to operation, you will also understand how those things work over there, and it helps you to be able to engage and become a better co-pilot to the CEO, what I call a business, finance partner. We are no more looking for accountants or chief finance officers. We are looking for finance business partners who are co-pilots to the CEO. And without you, the CEO should not be able to find it easy to navigate the running of the organization. So position yourself to be more like an advisor, a well-rounded advisor, than just a financial advisor. So within the finance space, these are the roles you can play. In HR operations, you can do HR. The current HR for IBM West Africa and Central is a Cima member. And actually, he was in finance. And there was a vacancy for HR because of his background and the fact that he has done models that actually touch on HR. And he feels that the package for the HR was good. And he went into it. And he's been in the HR for long now. He's not moved back to the finance, even though he does other consultancy things. And of course, with the qualification, you can do consultancy. And with consultancy, you can work for life. There's no retirement for a consultant. If you retire, you will still use that qualification to be able to consult for organizations around the world, including the World Bank, the WHO, and all the other big organizations around the world. So that is the beauty of getting the Cima qualification. And it is respected by all Fortune 500 companies in the world and these big organizations within the ecosystem. So the big four, they employ our members, the financial services, which are the banking, the public sector, and not-for-profit organizations. So the public sector, we have the current controller and accountant general, who is a Cima member. The deputy controller, accountant general, F&A, is also a Cima member, and they have qualified in fact in the 2000s, and today they are in that affairs, running the whole government machinery in terms of the finance and accounting issues. So that is how the Cima qualification do not limit you, but actually expands your reach. Now, the fee, the ICAG fee, we have actually a package for the CA route, we call it, or the ICAG pathway. It is actually £1,250. But because of the nature of our or volatility of our currency, we were able to get UK to agree for us to give a discount. So about, I think, from the beginning of the year. So we're running the discount instead of paying £1,250, you will pay £695. And it covers your registration, your entry onto the ICAG pathway. It covers the 15 exemptions. It covers one free attempt at the strategic case study you're going to write. And then it covers your subscription for the year you are registering, which is 2023. So once you pay this amount, all you need is to be able to prepare and get on to write the exam. How do you get started? So as a CA qualified member, your registration process is different from any other person who is registering with us. So when you go to the website directly, you will not find the right way. It will put you at a lower level if you go directly to the website. It has to be manual, it has to come from us. We need to do the approvals, and then the necessary exemptions are awarded. So if you are interested, we send you an email with the application form. You will then create an online Cima account on the aicpa-cima.com website. You will complete the application form. You submit it together with your ICAG certificate, a letter of good standing from ICAG, your national ID, and a CV via our email. So you do not need to come to us physically unless you just want to come to the office. And then your documents will be reviewed by myself, and then the approvals is done. Then we will then ask the team to load the order of the £695 onto your account. Then we will then inform you to go back into your account and complete the registration and make the payment of the £695 using Visa or MasterCard. So you can pay on the website using Visa or MasterCard. Immediately you do the payment, you would inform us, and then we will then award the exemptions for you. Then what you will need to do now is to go to ASPA to prepare you for the case study exam. And you can book the exam and write it at your convenience. The exam can be written at the comfort of your bedroom or at the exam center. So you have the flexibility, and that's why I say the VUCA world, the technology is changing a lot of things. And so you can do the exam at any time, even 12 a.m. midnight. Once you are in your room and everything is fine, we will have a proctor or what they call invigilator from around the world, where the time there will be a daytime. So somebody will be with you whilst you are writing the exam, and you'll be engaging and talking to you. And that is what technology has done for us. Thank you very much. And this is where I draw the curtains on the presentation. That is my direct line on the screens, and then the office line as well, and my email. Thank you. I will now open it up for questions and answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Osman, for the excellent delivery. Wow, that's great. I wish you can still keep your slide on so that definitely some people join us very late. So I'm sure there will be a need to highlight some things. And I wish you to keep it on where the ICA route is. The ICA route, so that colleagues can have a look at that, essentially. The package for the ICA members. Okay. Now, I think the one before this one. Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Very good, very good. That should be there. So guys who want to be Cima members, this is the pathway for us members of ICA to join and become a Cima member. So before we do the Q&A session, I'm glad to inform you that ASPA has actually partnered with Cima Ghana to run the strategic case study paper. And you all know that per our pedigree, we've done this for ICA, and our aim is to replicate the same for the Cima program. So we'll be rolling out tuition very soon. So just keep your ears on the ground. We'll soon release a program for that particular exam, or the preparation towards the Cima exam. And for us, we want to be ready to do this and do it well. So I'm very glad Osman is helping us to achieve this, because I know most of you have been calling. How do I get through to write the Cima case study so that I become a Cima member? I'm sure your solution will now come from us so that we can help you achieve that dream. So if you have questions, there are two options. You can drop it in the Q&A box. I'll read it out to Osman. And then we'll soon bring up questions live, those who want to ask live questions very soon. So we'll be doing this in 30 minutes so that we can at least deal with most of the issues. So I think, let me start with a question in the Q&A session from Prisla. So Osman, Prisla is saying that, can you kindly explain what is meant by the one free attempt at the last exam? I think
Okay, so
it's on the
yes,
screen share.
yeah. So when you pay, we give you the first exam that you write is free. And we need you to at least book it within a year from the time you registered. If you don't sit within a year from the time you registered, that free attempt is gone. And anytime you will register, you will pay for the cost of that exam. So the first attempt is free. If you fill the paper, you will only be paying for receipt of that paper until you pass. And the cost of that paper is £270. So if you write it on the first attempt and you pass, that's all, you are qualified. If you don't, then you have to write the receipt until you pass the exam. And we do not force you to write the exam. You will actually write at the time you are comfortable within the windows.
Very good, very good. So I think we'll take the next one. So I'm sure, Prisla, you are well answered. So it says, thank you, Sir Eli, for the good work. Thank you, Osman, for the presentation. He said, please, I join late, but I want to know how many papers I need to write. Is it only the case study? Yes, it is actually one paper. You just write the Cima case study, and then you are able to qualify as a Cima member. Now, Osman, what is the pass mark? She's asking, what is the pass mark?
Yeah, so fortunately for us, the strategic case study has the highest pass rate. So it hovers between 60 to 65%.
No, she's asking the pass mark.
Oh,
Is
the
it
pass mark,
what they are very much comfortable? I think with ICA, the pass mark is 50. So is it the same for students?
exam is marked over 150, even though you are giving 3 issues, but they are marked over 150. You will need 80 out of 150 to pass. So that's roughly about 55 percent if you put in 100%.
Okay, okay. So it's a 150 total. And so out of the 150, you're expected to score how much?
80 minimum.
So you need to get 80 out of 150. Solid. We go to the next thing. See, thank you so much for the education. What about the learning materials, and will it be provided from the fees? So apart from the 695, does it give them access to any maybe learning materials on the Cima website?
No. So this does not include any learning material and tuition.
Very
So
good.
all that you can buy the books. I'm sure once Aspire starts, they may also start bringing down the books. But currently, there's some of the tuition providers sell. It's about 120 cedis or so. If you buy it in hard copy, it's cheaper than you buying it online. Because online one is about £80. So you convert it, it's a lot of money. But when it's coming down to Africa, they try to reduce it. So you can rather buy the hard copies.
We'll surely deal with those issues to help students be able to get relevant material. So for materials, don't worry. That is why we are here to help. And indeed, we are ready to do so. So somebody say, what is the total cost using ICA? That's why I want, you see, Osman, that's why I want you to keep this here. Because everybody is looking at the cost. And this is the key thing. Exactly. And the good thing is that this 695 was discounted from 1250. That's a big deal. Obviously, because of the currency fluctuation, we have, I think the fee has been discounted exactly to cater for the kind of environment which we are dealing with. Exactly. So this is a big deal. I can tell you, it's just a dash. I consider this to be a clear dash, because from 1250 to 695, that is clearly a dash. And then somebody said, is the discount for ICMA members limited time that can expire? I think that is clear, right? The expiration time. Osman, can you brief us on that?
Yeah, so that's what I wrote there, that is valid until 7th December.
Okay, 7th of December.
So, but normally we can push them to just give us to the end of the year because it will be in December. So at least If you try and register, you may not necessarily have to start classes. Maybe you can start the following year, but once you group yourself in and pay, it locks you in.
Yeah.
If the price changes, it doesn't impact you.
So I think the good thing is to lock yourself in now, so that whatever it is, at least you've got yourself in there, which is, I think, because by paying for that, you've got your exemption sorted out, you've got your registration fee sorted out. Exactly. So the only challenge may be the attempt, the exam attempt, which may be, if you lose that option, it's not a problem, but at least you've been able to clear away your exam registration, like, for example, your exemptions, your registration fees, and all of that. So I think it's a wise decision to pay off now, because you may not know what may happen next year. Yeah. Now, let me ask, Osman, let me ask this very important question. Now, the next exam is actually in November, right? Can you give us an indication when exactly that is happening?
So the case study itself will be out 22nd September. It will be available. And then the exam will be from the 7th of November. It's a 3-day period. So I should say, yeah, it falls on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you have to choose one day out of the 3 days, and then you decide the time you want to write, and also decide whether you want to go to an exam center or you want to write from the comfort of your home.
Okay. So,
but if you are doing it from the comfort of your home, that one, there are strict rules to doing it from your home or comfort. You must have a laptop, a reliable internet. The laptop must have a cam that the invigilator can see you, you can see him, and you cannot get up within the 3 hours. Even if you want to wee, you can't do it. So that is a, but if you go to an exam center, you can actually go to the washroom. They will pause it for you. You go, come back, and continue.
Okay, and I know the character of my students, so it's best they write at the exam center. Okay, so let me also ask this question, right? You know, we have 4 exams in a year. Can you confirm the months of the exams apart from November?
So we have
February,
May,
May,
August, and November.
Very good. So February, May, and August are the other alternative months.
February, May,
right.
August.
So now let me ask you this question. For the Cima program, I'm aware the pre-scene is used for multiple sittings. I hope you are with me. Now, I want to confirm that the November exam is the pre-scene specifically for going to be issued for the November and maybe February next year, or the pre-scene is already available. Maybe the one that was used in August is what is going to be used for November. Can you deal with that for me?
Yes. So November and February the following year is one case study. Then May and August is one case study.
So let's be sure about that. So November, February, one pre-scene.
Yeah,
but 2 different exams. And then the May and August, one pre-scene, but 2 different exams.
Okay,
so
let me make this clear. Let me make this clear. So in one case study, you will have 6 variant set of questions.
Very good.
Out of the 6, when you go and sit in the exam room, you will be given 1. So for the November, they will pick the first 3 sets. So I can actually be sitting with you in the exam room. My set of questions are different from yours, but we are dealing with this.
Yeah. So the questions are different for students. So you can be sitting beside somebody and he's writing a different exam, because there are 3
based on the same case study.
The same case.
Issues can be different.
Yeah. So the same case, but 3 different set of questions are being used to examine you for that diet. The next diet, another 3 batch of questions. Very good. So even if we know we are all in the same room, you may be dealing with another question, but all in line with the same case. And the case is used for 2 diets. Exactly. And the case goes with 6 questions. So 3 for the first one, and the next diet to have the other 3. So you see the way I'm explaining the thing.
Very good.
Very interesting. Because I want the clarity. That's very important for me. Very good. So is there a discount for ICA members? Limited can expire. I think I dealt with that. How would ICA certification help one in auditing space, since Cima certification does not recognize audit and assurance? Can you deal with that for me?
I didn't get that.
I think this question is not appropriate, but let me just read it. I'm sure you can deal with it. It says, how will Cima certification help one in the auditing space, since Cima certification does not recognize audit and assurance. Is it true?
Oh, we recognize it actually. Maybe your focus is not on audit and assurance, but in other parts of the world, in the UK, for instance, we have what we call members in practice. So they are able to do, they have different things they do for them to do if they want to focus on audit. But the main focus of Cima is not on audit and that. But if you want to do that, we call them members in practice, and they have different things we do for them. After you pass the exam, they will do that for you. So not necessarily, but of course you have a CA that one gives you the certificate or the passport to be able to sign audited accounts. So if you have the blend, that is why I always say, if you have the CA and the Cima, it helps you to enter anywhere you want to go. Because when it comes to the technicality, you are there. And when it comes to the other side of it, the strategy management and all that, you are also there.
Okay. This is a question that we normally get when it comes to ICAG, and I'm sure this question is also coming for Cima. They say that, do you guys play an active role, exactly, in terms of salary paid to members?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people say, I've qualified, I'm working for an organization, and my salary is not good. Exactly. So does Cima play any role in that regard?
Unfortunately for our region, no. But in outside, there is a what do you call it? We call it premium. There is a minimum you cannot pay Cima members below. So our industries are not robust. So if you go and tell somebody, you rather tell him to leave because he doesn't have the money to pay you.
Yeah. So if you do that in a Sikampedide economy, it won't work. But in the economies that have civilized currency, exactly, they have premiums at which you may not pay below. So definitely they have developed economies, so that is fine. So somebody is saying, is the exam computer-based? Yes, it's computer-based. The exams is and the good thing is that, Osman, we at ASPA are about to launch our own computer-based examination. And the beauty of it is that ICAG is going live in terms of CCB next year. The preparations have started. And yesterday at the Internal Auditors Conference, I saw you there.
Yeah.
Yes. So at the conference, you heard our technical director made a pronouncement that officially from 2025, ICA exams will obviously go computer-based. So we are also preparing, and we don't want to be taken by surprise. So we have engaged our developers, and we are ready to roll out a full-blown computer-based exam, all in preparation towards that particular change. So definitely our students who are also going to write a Cima, we can also, moderate the questions, exactly, using our OCB before the eventual exams you will be writing. So that is the beauty of it.
Yeah, and you just need to, because it's a pure typing or writing, because you're not choosing it. So if you are not too good, what I advise mostly people use typing.com or maybe Speakon. So you don't need to be a typing skill.
Yeah,
you just have an average.
Yeah, you need to up your typing skills, because there will be some need to have a good flair with your PC to type as quick as possible. Now, Baba Majid says, what is the annual subscription thereafter, after you pay off the entry or pathway fee? Yeah.
So student subscription is £130 every year.
Okay. So subsequent years, you are going to pay £130. So now, what if somebody registers, pays the 695, and write the exam this November, and bingo, the person is qualified? How much do I pay for? Do I have to pay a fee for graduation? Do I have to pay a fee for, like, as some professional bodies do I pay for graduation? Do I then after pay for membership? Like, can you help us with that?
Yeah, so the good thing is that Cima doesn't charge you for graduation. So we're having one on the 23rd. And all of them, you could see, because some of them from IC, they ask me, so how much we don't pay a CD.
So there's no fee for graduation. That is clear. Let's go on.
The sash we give you to wear and all those
There's
things.
no sash and all of that, yes.
Yeah, you don't pay anything for that. But the members, full members, after getting the full membership, you pay £329 yearly for membership subscription. So that's
membership is 329. 329
yes.
pounds.
Yeah. And most of them, at least the organizations pay. especially controller, because they can swap it. Controller can pay for one. So some of them give the Cima to controller and they pay
But
the
I think that is what some of them are doing. So those who have Cima qualifications, they rather use Cima they rather pay their membership subscription for Cima, and then the local one they deal with it. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that is wise in order to save ourselves some fees.
Yeah.
So somebody said, have someone who is not chartered and want to write Cima. So that is the big question I want to also deal with today. Now, some colleagues have also come in contact with me regarding they writing the ICA exam, and as a result of the frustration of some of them, they want to see, is there a pathway for those who have a master's degree to be able to write the Cima exams and qualify for membership? What is the route for them? Those who just have master's degree and does not have an ICA qualification, what route would you tailor for them? Tell me.
So if you have masters in accounting and finance, you will start from, let me see if I can get the slide. You start from the management level. So this is the level you will start. So when you look at it, that will be the third level. So the management level. So you will need to,
from the third level.
So you are getting 8 exemptions out of 16.
Okay.
So it means you have 8 more to write. Now, there are 2 dynamics to it. If I want to go the traditional way, which is the normal Cima way of registering, I can do and get the 8 exemptions. I'll pay £95 registration, and then I'll pay for one of the exam costs, which is 115. For the rest of the 8 exemptions you get, we do not charge exemption fees. Our exemptions are free, so you don't pay for them. You only pay the registration and then one exam at the management level, which is E2. That's the managing performance. Then after that, you will have to write E2, P2, and F2, which are objective papers. They are written every day.
So they are objective papers written every day.
Every day at your demand. So when you think you have the money and you are ready, you just book and write. And that one is multiple choice question. It's a 90 minutes one. And you need to get 100 out of 150 to pass.
So come again with the number. You need to get what?
100 out of 150 to pass.
Out of 150. Okay, great.
Pass. So after that, they will then write the management case study exam. Then they move to the final level and do the 3 objective as well, and then write the strategic case study. So with this, they pay as and when they write exam. That's a traditional way. If you want to use what we call the finance leadership program, we have created an online platform, a learning management system that has all the resources. It is designed for self-study. But in Europe, in America, and Asia, tuition providers still have to come in to augment. There are some people who still need a tutor to help them. So even though they pay for that, they will still get a tutor who will get them through proper explanation to get through. And with that one, we use what we call continuous assessment. So you would end up writing just 2 case studies. The rest of the exam will be done in the system. Yes. And that one is expensive because it comes together with the tuition guide, the analysis, exam, and all that. 1 year is £2,000.
No, that's heavy.
And GRA is charging VAT on it, you know. So if tuition is built into it, the exam models are built. You don't pay exam fees. Everything is on it once for 1 year access. If you finish in 6 months, you are done. If you finish in 8 months, that's it.
Okay, maybe Osman, we need to discuss something out of it because we are in Africa. Sometimes we need to find ways around the corner.
But if you are from Legon, UCC, KNUST, and any of the affiliated universities, and you have graduated within the last 5 years, we have an MOU for them. So with that, you will pay £600 instead of the 2,000.
So instead of the 2,000, you pay 600. If you graduated from any of those universities you've mentioned, because you have with them.
Meaning from 2018 till now. If you more than 5 years since you finish, you have to go.
2018 till now.
Yes.
And that one. Universities again.
Legon, UCC, and KNUST, and any of their affiliated universities. So any private university that.
So any of the private universities that they have affiliation.
Yeah. certificates.
But you guys signed some MOU with University of Education Winneba, right?
Yes. So I forgot to mention them. They are the recent ones. So
They are
it's
the
a new
recent one. I saw that coming on board recently. That's
it's even signed, so they are also part of it.
so
And
they are also part. Okay.
soon. UPSA is a bit long with it, but that is where we are.
Okay, that's great. So anyone who is not a chartered accountant and wants to be a member, we have clearly discussed the access route. So I think we can move away from there. So maybe let me go to the online for now. Let me take some of our questions. So if you have a question, just raise up your hand. I will ask you to unmute yourself and then we can invite you over. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. So I'll start with the first person. Famous, go ahead with your question.
So my first question is about you going in person to write. Okay. Can we know the centers available, like as in ICAG they have for the regional centers?
Definitely.
And
definitely.
if you go in person, are you also going to use the computer, or that one you go and
No,
write?
if you go, they'll provide a computer for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we know the various centers available?
Definitely. Osman, can you deal with that?
Yeah. So all of them will come up, those who are closest to you. But we have majority of them in Accra, and then in Accra, Kumasi. Those are the places. So coming from
Accra and Kumasi.
Kumasi. So we have Takra, Kumasi, and
Okay.
the largest.
Okay. So Takrady, Kumasi, and then Accra. Osman,
okay,
I think.
Sir.
Right. So Osman, I think there's a problem with your audio. So kindly check it again. It was breaking in. Okay, it's better now. It's better now. So the next question.
Anywhere in the world, assuming you the exam today and maybe 2 weeks to the exam, your organization asks you to travel to UK, South Africa, wherever, and you can just reschedule to South Africa and go right, or UK and go right.
That's great. That's great. So let's take the next question. Perfect. Any question? Perfect. Any question? Then we have Emmanuel Akapo. Any question?
Hello.
Emmanuel.
Okay. Good evening.
Okay, so let's take Perfect before Emmanuel. So Perfect, go ahead.
Hello. Please, I wanted Osman to clarify this for me.
Okay.
What's the arrangement between AICPA and Cima? Does it mean when I have a Cima qualification, I automatically have a CPA qualification? How does it work? And secondly, for ASPA, some of us don't live so close. So if you enroll such programs, will it be a program whereby you have to travel all the way to where ASPA is? Will it be an online based?
For the tuition, it's online, actually. For the tuition, it's strictly going to be online. So don't worry about that. Perfect. Who actually is strictly online. All our post-qualification programs are strictly online. So we don't really bother our students too much. So as we speak now, our CIT program is strictly online. So can you deal with her question, Osman, concerning arrangement you have with the AICPA?
Yeah. So the AICPA, when you get the Cima qualification, it doesn't automatically make you a member of, or gives you a CPA, but it gives you membership to the AICPA.
Okay.
So CPAs are members of AICPA, but the designation CPA, before you can get that, within their space, we are trying to get that worked on. But in the states, they have 50 states, and each of the states have its rules to becoming a CPA. So you cannot bundle all of them into one and say you just have one route. So that is the challenge now. You can't use the Cima directly and enter. They will just go through one by one based on the state laws. So if you qualify for maybe 10 exemptions, they give you, then you go and write the rest of it based on the laws they have within the state. But if you have the CPA, it is easy because Cima is uniform across the globe. You can just come in with a CPA and write the final case study and get the Cgma to add up to it. And that's what a lot of them are doing in the Americas because they want to still be in that space.
Okay. I hope it's clear to Perfect. So let me take some more questions. Mingo. Yes, Mingo, go ahead with your question. Oh, sorry, I think I didn't ask Emmanuel to ask. So Emmanuel, you can go ahead before Mingo comes in.
Okay, I was about asking the same question the person
On the
just asked about the
AICPA.
AICP and then the Cima.
Okay, that's great. So Mingo, you can
No,
go ahead.
unfortunately, we don't know the
Ellie.
difference between AICP and CPA.
Okay, you Osman, can you clarify that again?
AICPA is the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants.
Very
And if
good.
I certify public accountant, we do the uniform exam. So whichever state you go to write the exam, before you can call yourself a CPA, we have to give them the uniform exam to write before you become a CPA. But different states have different laws. That's why you can't use the Cima to go each state. But the final exam is examined by us to become a CPA. But
Okay.
it doesn't mean if you have the Cima, you get the CPA as well.
Okay. So I think that is clear now.
Yeah, I think what makes it clear, the advantage is that it is accepted in US. So the Cgma is recognized in the US. So you can go into a lot of roles within finance and accounting without necessarily being a CPA.
Okay. So it clearly shows that the CGMA helps you to have access to the US market. Got it.
Job market, yeah.
Very good. Very good. So Mingo, any question?
Yeah, Ellie, thank you and good evening.
Yeah.
Please, see, some of us or most of us are we recently passed our exam at the ICAG, and then we are awaiting graduation. We have no certificates. In the instance that up to the December, if ICAG has still not given us our certificates, how do we then apply for the Cima if we still do not have the ICAG certificate?
Okay, so Osman, maybe the question, let me rephrase it. Do you accept a transcript prior to the certificate?
You need to bring the full membership, but because ASPA is involved, we can give you that dispensation.
Okay. So maybe we need to have some guarantee for them.
We can give you, we'll let you bring the transcript and all that. We'll work on because of the deadline. Then anytime you get the certificate, you bring it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with issues of registration, we'll deal with that maybe after the session. I will share some arrangement or maybe a Google form for those who are interested to fill so that we can at least coordinate the process of registration effectively. So we'll put that process in place. So Francis, your question? Francis, if you are ready, you can ask your question. If not, we have Evans Apia. Evans also has raised a hand.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, Evans, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a very powerful.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, so
yes,
Evans.
This is Francis.
Okay, Francis, let Evans finish and then you take it out.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, so go ahead.
Yeah, I said that is a very powerful explanation. My issue has to do with, when it comes to these professional programs, sometimes you spend so much on it, and at the end of the day, you will not even, you even struggle getting a job that can help you get some kind of returns for all your investments. So I don't know, when Mr. Osman was presenting, he said that in the US, there is a cap at which Cima or management accountants, you cannot pay them below. Why is it that those kind of policies can't, apply in this part of, because when I'm a chartered management accountant in Ghana, it's the same person in there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Evans, right? Evans is the one.
Yeah, so
okay.
My point,
Evans, this is a very simple matter. Because the economy you have here, the economy you have here is very problematic. So how do you expect some premium over here? Exactly. Because at the end of the day, every employer, exactly, is willing to recruit persons who they can be able to afford and pay. But I'm sure if you are deserving, why not? Salaries could be paid beyond the amount, exactly. But in our jurisdiction, it's difficult to set that benchmark. Exactly. Even recently, the institute was trying to make some arrangement regarding even the minimum audit fee that should be charged for any engagement. These are all things that are in the pipeline. Exactly. We will surely get there. Exactly. When the profession is very united.
Yeah,
Things
and
like
C
that easy to agree.
C is in the system. Chartered accountant, ICA Ghana members who are in the system. There are a lot of people who are qualified. They have the membership certificate, but you go to organizations and they are receiving peanuts. You know.
Yeah, I
You
know.
see, I agree with you. Problem is the
yeah.
fact that there are no jobs currently per the research they brought us and the internal information there are shortages of accountants in the US. So
Yes.
everyone is struggling to even get chartered accountants. So they are trying to up the salaries just to be able to pull those who are chartered. But in us, it's not like that. We are chasing the jobs. The jobs are not chasing us. So you won't have that leverage.
And the number of people who have left this year, Ghanaians, who have left to the UK and US just because of job, and most of them are accountants. I'm telling you, there are so many. There are so many. So
all right.
We'll get there. So
all
let's
right.
take the next
Thank
person.
you.
Thank
you
you
very much. Yeah.
Right. So Francis, go ahead.
All right, Asper, good evening. This is Francis. Just a quick one. So the first part of my question has been answered. Wanted to ask if you organize classes online. The second one is that if I want to write in May, when does the class start? And then if I pay the money, say in December, without paying for the examination fee again.
I think there was a breakage with the last question. So you said if you pay.
Okay, what I was saying, the last part was that if I pay in December, can I still decide to write the exams in May without having to pay for the exam fee again?
I think that's what Osman was trying to say, that it's better to register now and lock it in, so that by the time the what do you call it, there's an expiration of the whole discount scheme, maybe there may be some consideration for next year, because I think every year there will be some kind of review done. But for now, you may not be allowed to write the next year. But why not? We can see any possibility. But the good thing is that whatever you pay now, at least clears your exemption, clears your registration and all of that. That is the good thing about that. Exactly. Yes. So we can hope and see. Yeah.
Yes. Assuming he pays in December, it is when you pay and we apply the exemption, that is when we allocate an exam credit to your account. So if it's allocated on 25th December, it will expire 25th December the following year. So if you're writing in May, you are okay. You don't
okay, that's good. Then that's good. I hope you got it. Yeah. So
yes, I got it.
That at least you have locked yourself in for a whole year now. Is that fair?
Okay, yes. And then the other part of the question, when
so normally for tuition, we will normally start tuition a week before the release of the precinct. That is what we expect to do. So that at least when when precinct comes, everybody is serious. So we will not expect to do tuition normally prior to precinct. When the precinct comes, the level of attention that students want to give to the precinct is more serious. We've seen that with the ICA exam. Before precinct, everybody is idling around. But once precinct comes, everybody has become a serious student. So that is the approach we are going to adopt. So tuition will start a week before the release of the precinct, and we are expecting precinct to come 22nd of September.
And what's your standard price? Standard price for the tuition?
We will surely announce that. It will be moderate and kind of reasonable within our kind of economy. You know, the economy we have is Sikam PDD economy, so we don't need to. we will not charge at all, because some foreign tuition programs are doing about, if you convert it in Ghana, I think about 2,500 CD and all of that. So we will try and do something quite reasonable. And because we have a lot of our students who are already ICA members, this is kind of a way of giving back to them. Exactly. And if you are consistent and do it well, I know you will give us the recommendation. We have done the same for CIT. The level of pass rate we had for CIT is so phenomenal that now we don't struggle to get students for the next diet. Exactly. So we will expect to do that. When we replicate it well, then consistently we can be able to get good numbers.
All right, thank you very much. I have number, so I'll reach out if I need any further clarification.
Definitely, definitely. So after this session, we'll be
Yeah,
rolling
please,
out.
with the slides, will you share the slide for? Will you share the slides?
Okay,
No
I'll
problem.
talk to Osman.
Then he can share with you.
Yeah, I'll talk to Osman
Yeah,
after
you
this.
share the slides so that we can have it on our platforms.
No problem at all. No problem.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you.
think there were some other hands up. Let me see the time available. Wow. We were expected to close at 7:10. So, but let's ask some. Osman, do you have some extra 10 minutes?
No, I'm fine. For my side, I'm okay. But if you want to talk, I am always here for you. So
Okay. So Osman is ready. So I think we can take some more hands. Kwesi, if Kwesi is there, you can come up with your question. Hello, Kwesi. And then we have Prisla. Prisla also has a question.
Hello, Ali.
Hello. Yeah, Prisla, go ahead.
Okay, I just joined, so I just wanted you to do a brief summary.
Okay, when we are about to end, we'll do that. Don't worry.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then we have Wilson. Wilson, do you have a question? Wilson, do you have a question? Okay, Kwesi, go ahead. I think we are struggling to get Kwesi's audio to be connected. So maybe
can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if register now, can I be able to write the exams in November?
Osman, did you hear the question?
yes. So once you think you are ready, you can write the exam. If you register a day before the deadline for exam scheduling and you want to go and write, you can book.
Okay, then the next question goes to Ellie. So Ellie, are you ready for students who want to register today and write in November?
We are ready for them. Derek, what's your problem? we are ready. We are ready. Don't worry at all. We are ready for that. So I think we'll now move to let's do some of the Q&As in the box. Let's clear some of them and then we can have a final overview and shut down. Please, somebody said, please, did you say £300 for yearly subscription for member? For member, 329, right?
Yes.
Very good. So member, you pay 329 for membership, right? So somebody say any scholarship available?
Unfortunately, no. It's only for that is the discount we have given you.
Definitely. So somebody say, is there a shortage of CA in the US? We are available. As per your boys are famous, still don't have job. It is what? Oh my goodness. When you follow this student, they'll create problem for you.
So a lot of people there who are using the CA routes to do it through Ghana because the fee is cheaper here, so that they can be employed.
Yeah, even there are people in the UK who are doing it locally. So they are, even though they are in the UK, they are registering locally through the CA route to become members and write the exam. So it's quite good. It's quite good. The opportunity is there. Exactly. So somebody say, given the nature of exam, one needs speed or typing speed. What is the typing speed needed to pass?
You just need to be a good type. You don't need to be a super typist. I have known people who have actually passed with one hand type.
Okay.
And what is important is you know what you are about. We are not asking you to write so much essay. The problem is straightforward. This is the problem. And solve the problem. It's not too much of example going around it. Auditors and finance people don't talk plenty. Straight to the point.
Yeah. Very interesting. Somebody said, do you conduct classes at Aspire online? As I think that has been dealt with. If I want to write May, when does classes start? So normally the pre-scene is released, I think 6 weeks before the exam. So as it is, we will normally start lectures a week. So lectures will actually be for 5 weeks intensive, exactly, before the exam. So if you want to do it, if you are writing next year, May, so expect tuition should be starting from, what's the name? You are looking at April, yeah? So April should be the period within which lectures will be quite intensive because pre-scene would have come in April for exam happening in May. So definitely that is the way around it. Exactly. So I think we are done with the questions. if there's no hand up, maybe we can do an overview and then we can shut down. So maybe your overview should focus on the entry route. If you can maybe go to your slide so that we can do the overview together.
Okay.
So if you can go back.
Is it how to get started, isn't it?
Very good.
Yeah. So once you are interested, you send your details to Aspire, and you need to be ready before we start the process, because once they send you the form and you apply and send it back, and we apply the order, you need to be able to pay within 2 weeks. So when you are not ready to pay within 2 weeks, don't bother to come in, so that we don't have too much problem of finance coming back that they are canceling the orders. So you need to be prepared at least to be willing to pay either immediately or within 2 weeks, so that once they apply and put you through, you make the payment. And it's only when you have paid that is confirmed you've registered. So if you haven't paid, and anytime the price changes, you haven't registered, so you have to pay the new price. And then after that, you go online to create your your account, and then you will just complete the application form. And when you submit it back together with all the documents, we will then approve it. Then we will put the order of the 695 on your account. So the exemptions are not awarded until the payment is done. So once you do the payment, we then go in and award the exemptions and ask you to then book exam at any time you are comfortable to do. That is where Aspire will now come in and take you through all the guidance and all that. And I know with the records of Aspire, they will do a very good job. And I'm actually happy and willing to give Aspire access to the £2,000 access, just for you to go in and see how the lectures that we are using there do it. The strategic level, we have the best tutor for it, which is Andrew Sims. I'll give you access to his models and his analysis and all that. So you look at it just to be able to help, because at the end of the day, we want people to pass. We are not interested in getting people fail.
That's great. That's great. So let's go to the next slide, the ICA route.
Okay.
So I think this is something that for those who didn't join us from the beginning, we had emphasized that if you're an ICA member, exactly, your certificate qualifies you to write the Cima case study, which is the only paper you write to become a member. And as the announcement, the fee is actually £1,250, but has now been discounted to £695 for ICA members. And this discount fee is valid till 7th of December this year. And that amount covers your registration fees, your entry exactly onto the program, and then 15 exemptions for all ICA members. 15 exemptions. And then you also have an opportunity to attempt the Cima case study just once for free. And that is a big deal. So once you pay the 695 and you attempt the exam and then you pass, that means you've qualified as a member. Exactly. And then you don't even have to pay any subscription fee for this year. Exactly. So clearly it's a huge package. So as some other colleagues were asking, somebody said, what if I pay the 695 now and decide to write the exam next year? And I think the response was that once you pay now, it is the opportunity to write the exam expires to the following year. So that is the opportunity you have. So once you register now, you have the opportunity to write the exam until whenever you are ready, and the opportunity expires after 1 year after you are registered. So that is the explanation we had there. And when it comes to the Cima case study, it's an online exam, specifically written. You can write it at your home, or you can write it at the exam centers. If it's your home, there will be a need for an online invigilator who has to monitor you to make sure that you don't get up from your seat all throughout the exam, so that you can be able to ensure that there's no more practice. And normally you need a laptop and an audio webcam, exactly, on your laptop to be able to write that exam when you want to write it at your own convenience. But there are centers. We have centers in Takoradi, we have centers in Accra, and then we have centers in Kumasi where you can actually go and write in person. It's a CBE exam computer-based, so you need a lot of typing skills. So we have some online tools that can help you improve your typing skills to a good level in order to be able to write the exam. But as has been said, the key thing is not about the typing, but about you putting your mind together and submitting a good response. So the exam times are normally 4 times a year. We have February, May, August, and November. So one thing, how the Cima case study is almost like the ICA case study, but the beauty of this is that a case is released for 2 dates. So as we speak, whatever case will be released for this November exam, that same case will be tested in February next year. So what they normally do is that there will be 6 questions. Exactly. So for you writing this November exam, you will be writing the pre-sim with these 3 questions. And that means that even though you are all writing the exam in one room, exactly, you may be writing a different question with the pre-sim information. So the questions are not the same. So there will be 3 questions for the first date of that pre-sim. When the next exam comes, you are still going to use the same pre-sim, but guess that you are going to now use another 3 different set of questions for that pre-sim information. So that is the beauty of it. So those who want to write November and February next year, once the pre-sim comes for the this November, expect that we are going to use the same pre-sim for the February exam next year. Exactly. So once that is done, a new pre-sim will be released for May, and then May and August will use the same pre-sim information. And as we have said at Aspire, we run the tuition program for the Cima case study, and we have been clearly notified that pre-sim will be available from the 22nd of September for exams on board. Exams is actually going to happen 7th of November. Exactly. So we will normally roll out the tuition program a week before the beginning of or the release of the pre-sim, because as is always the case, people pay more attention to pre-sim exactly when it has arrived and not when it has not yet arrived. So definitely that is the approach we are going to adopt. So these are some of the essential highlights of what we said. So ICA members will write just a single paper called the Cima case study paper. So the pre-sim will be out. So the strategic case study, Cima strategic case study paper. So that is it. So that's the beauty of all that we've been trying to share. So we will be sharing some forms on the platform for those who may want us to help them with the registration process and all of that. We'll follow up with you and help you, because actually some people were saying they don't have their certificate yet and all of that. We need to find a way to help everybody, if assuming the interest is there. So that is the way forward. So if there's no other question, I think we have had a very nice session, and the video has been recorded. So after the class, we'll put it together and share it on all our alumni platform. And I'm so glad we were able to have a sizable number of attendees. We were able to cross 100, and that is great. And I'm so happy the interest in our members wanting to be Cima members. The opportunities are there. Exactly. Somebody will say, Namdodo and Senkwa. Is that not how you said? Osman, are you good at tree? I'm not good at tree.
I am not too good at it, so.
So, Namdodo and Senkwa. Exactly. The variety is the spice of life. So definitely, why not? If you have variety, the options are many. You don't know where the opportunity will fall in. Exactly. These are complete qualifications that place premium on salaries to be paid when you go to civilized economies. Exactly. So aim at that. Go to civilized economy and earn good money. So that is it. So Osman, any closing remarks before we close?
So thank you so very much for the time, for all of you, and the engagement. It's been very, very fruitful, and the engagement is very, very rapid. In fact, Eli has actually taken control. In fact, he can now sell Cima anyway. Within these few seconds, he was able to summarize everything in a very simple for you. So I'm very grateful for the time and the engagement as well. We hope to engage with you and get more of you to pass by 2025. We should have about 50 alumni from Aspire qualified.
Definitely. You have a new office now, right? So can you let us know where your office is now?
Our office is located at Airport City within Senate Emporium. So we are on the 3rd floor, East Wing on the Senate Emporium. We are in the same building with Public Procurement Authority, PPA.
Okay, that's great. So thank you all for the opportunity. I'm so happy you all made time to join us. So enjoy the weekend and have a blessed day. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.